Let's go. Let's go. All right. This is what happens. Doing everything just kind of crazy. I don't want to say last minute, but last minute in the sense where I usually get on here at 9:45. I'm supposed to get on here 9:30. But that's besides the point. Yes, let's bring some energy. Let's bring some clarity to what I'm doing here as we get set for another podcast coming at you at 11 o'clock in an hour and 11 minutes as I break down all that's happening in sports. And was there anything that happened yesterday that is newsworthy or something to discuss and unpack? Oh, yeah. The game that's going to be known for a long time. And it's weird how the sports gods, in this particular case, the college basketball gods, they always find a way, somehow, some way, to come back and haunt the team, in this case, Duke, where that loss yesterday, I don't know how you sleep if you're a Duke fan. I don't. And when Christian Laettner hit that shot in the regional final against UConn and sent them to the Final Four back in, what was that, 90, I believe? And here it was 36 years later where the UConn Huskies returned the favor. Listen, just that alone is worth an entire podcast. Everything that you could shake a stick at when it comes to Duke having the lead, gagging down the stretch. And mind you, the gag was really the pass by Caden Boozer, where why is he in the game? And I understand why, but from the standpoint of he's not a great ball handler. He's a guy that obviously faced the pressure and made a very ill-advised pass. And we saw the turn of events after that pass. I understand you can't just 100% blame it on him, but he's going to be the GOAT here for as long as he lives. And how they were unable to escape that game where they had a 19-point first half lead, up by 15 at the half. And I believe at one point, I think they were up maybe like 16 early second half. But that is one where if you cannot salt the game away by any way, shape, form, fashion, how do you even rebound from that? And I understand every year's different, so on and so forth. But we know Cameron Boozer's going to go to the NBA. Val, what is happening, Val? Welcome. That's a loss that's just going to stick to your ribs. I don't care if Duke wins the next 5 championships. This one is going to sit, and especially against the opponent. It is UConn. And remember, I understand it's a regional final. Yes, Warriors lost. But the thing is, Val, real quick, you've made it to the play-in. Now it's just a matter of fact if you're going to be an 8 seed or in the 9-10 game. And if you're in the 9-10 game, you got to win that game to face the loser of the 7-8. So you're in the play-in tournament. You could only hope to have at least some confidence built. And when Curry, he's still not back yet. I know they said a couple more games, but yeah, I know the Warriors have just fallen apart here, but a lot has to do with their health. They haven't stayed healthy, and therefore they have just not played anything close to what they're capable when they are 100% healthy. So, but yeah, when it comes to, like I mentioned with Duke and UConn, I understand that regional final with Laettner in 90, but think about it. UConn beat Duke in 99 for the title, where that was the Rip Hamilton, Ricky Moore, Khalid El Amin team going up against, all those pros. That 99 Duke team had Elton Brand, Corey Maggette. I think Trajan Langdon was on that team. Yeah, this was before Jay Williams and Shane Battier, but they had just a plethora of big-time players, and that was a shocker. That was a big-time upset, and Duke, I know that they had to be sick knowing that that was a team that was loaded, ready to win a championship, and Jim Calhoun wins his first. And then 5 years later, and I believe that was in a semifinal, because didn't Duke play Georgia Tech in the final, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, I think that game was in a semifinal where Duke and UConn had a scenario where J.J. Redick, I'll never forget, I believe he got charged for a got fouled for a charge late in that game. And yeah, that was Reddick's team. That was after the 0-1 title with the aforementioned Jay Williams and Shane Battier. But yeah, just another gut-wrenching loss by the Blue Devils at the hands of the Huskies. So, I'm going to start the podcast with that. Catch up on everything that's going on with the tournament. Now we're down to the Final Four. Break down, not necessarily the Final Four just yet, but break down the matchups, what I'm sure the college basketball or the sports fan wants to see as far as a final goes. And I'll say this, Arizona, Michigan, that might as well be the final, because those are the two number one teams that are left standing. They're going to face off against one another. I'm sure a lot of people wish that Arizona was on the other side of the bracket, because to see that game in a championship setting would just be phenomenal. But we're not going to see that. I'll talk about that on the podcast too. Again, 11 o'clock right here on the channel. And I'll get into a bunch of other things as well, which I'll get to in a minute. Val, today's Giants-Padres. Oh, excuse me, I'm still shaking out the cobwebs. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the Blues have played well, and that's a big game, because the Blues have put themselves back in the Western Conference wildcard mix. Now, they're still, I believe, 4 points back, but they have 73 points. And with the Sharks, I believe they're also tied too, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just see. Hold on. Yeah, because I checked that this morning just to get myself briefed on what's going on. Yeah, right now the Sharks and Blues are tied 73 points, with Winnipeg ahead of them at 74, Seattle ahead of them at 75, the Kings ahead of them at 76, and then Nashville has that last spot at 77. So you have, counting it correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams for one playoff spot. So, yeah, that is a... oh, wait, did they play yesterday, you're saying, Val? Hold on. Hang on. Oh, you said they played tonight, right? Oh, no, they played tonight. Yeah, my bad. You said Blues beat Sharks overtime 2-1 recently. Okay, I read that wrong. My apologies. And they have Giants and Padres. Is that game in... I think that's in San Diego. Because I know the Mets play San Francisco this coming weekend in San Francisco. So I would think that series between the Giants and Padres is in Petco, which it absolutely is. And I'll get through the MLB schedule when I talk about it on the podcast. But, and then you saw Seth Curry yesterday. All right, let me see. Did Steph play in the game yesterday? Yeah, I wasn't wrapped up in the NBA last night. I mean, I know the Celtics won in Charlotte. But as I take a look here, scores, Denver. Yeah, no, I don't think he's back yet. Yeah, you see Brandon Podziemski, and yeah, no, they're not back yet. Pull up the box score. Fuqua, welcome. AKA Dad Ships, Everyday Mets, Rhoda Penmark, Tatsuya Mai, Minnesota Fats. Use Taylor for Torrance. Yeah, I know. Taylor's not. Yeah, Taylor is a fourth outfielder for sure. Drew's Gems. What's happening, Drew? Joe Milton will get a start any games this year for Dallas? No, and not if Dak Prescott's healthy. Yeah, no, I'd be shocked. Now, if Prescott gets hurt, different story. Yeah, I know. It's Mendoza for you. But didn't, hold on a second. Didn't, oh, maybe it was the day before, right? Yeah, I'm making sure. I'm just trying to get my games together here. Fuqua, hang on. You got that game last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. And this is Mets. and Pirates. Didn't? Yeah, no, that was the day before I was thinking about with Torrens. Yeah, I don't understand. And the thing is, I didn't watch the game yesterday. So I don't know, like, what obviously, just by you breaking it down, I mean, Torres should have hit there. And that was in the ninth inning. Hold on a second. Let me get to that ninth inning. Yeah, I know the game was tied at 2. If I go play by play. Yeah, no, hold on a second. Milton is so good, so good. Yeah, listen, I'd like to see more. Yeah, I'm looking this up, Fuko, just to get a better sense. Oh, boy, that was a terrible throw. Yeah, and you would question why they sent Lindor there. Yeah, I'm over here catching up on stuff. All right, Drews. Oh, so when did the Dodgers acquire Edwin Diaz? Oh, they signed him as a free agent, Drews. Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to break down this thing with Fuko talking about the ninth inning with Torrens. Yeah, they signed him during the winter meetings in Orlando. Those are the back-to-back days where Diaz went first that Tuesday, and then Wednesday Alonso went to Baltimore. They collect players in the offseason like infinity. Yeah, they do. I know Kyle Tucker, and I'm going to talk about that in the podcast, how I was going to sound crazy because it's only 3 games in. But when you look at the standings, I mean, the Dodgers already won the NL West. The Padres lost 2 out of 3 in San Diego to the Tigers. The Dodgers swept the Diamondbacks, so they're 0-3. The Yankees swept the Giants, they're 0-3. And then the Rockies got swept by the Marlins. They're 0-3. So they already have a 2-game lead after the first series of the year. And yeah, they might as well already won the division. Oh, today's Bregman's birthday? Oh, look at that. I didn't know that. Oh, his birthday's the day before mine. Check that out. Dodgers winning NL West. All right, listen. It was just a matter of when, and right now it's looking like the Dodgers already have the division wrapped up, considering they have a 2-game lead after 3 days. Have an Astros jersey at Bregman. Oh, you do, Drews? All right. Which one you have? You have the road gray, the home white, or the City Connect one, where it doesn't say Space City across the front? Drew's Gems. Yeah, so obviously today, the college basketball, dissect all that from the start. That's at 11 o'clock, and the next hour is the podcast. The Space City one? Yeah, nice. Yeah, those jerseys are pretty cool. I like those. Yeah, so that NBA concludes 2 weeks from yesterday. And now the Celtics have a little bit of a cushion there, 3-game lead over the Knicks, and they do play them again next Thursday. So, yeah, that's it, Val. You got it all, and then the Padres are 1-2. Oh, yeah, no, that Duke, I talked about it, Drews, that Duke loss, that's going to stick with them forever. I mean, they can win the next 5 championships. When they think back to this year and how they had a 15-point lead at the half, and I get it, those leads could dissipate, but the way that game ended, oh my, I mean, you haven't slept. You have not slept. And listen, I have shed no tears for Duke. I can't stand them. But I hate UConn also. But yeah, that was a beyond a brutal loss. Oh no, the turnover. And that's the thing. I'd have to go back and look because I've watched the play, and with the time, I think he still had a few more seconds to get across half court. So they didn't have the backcourt violation. And I know his dribbling has been, his ball handling has been suspect. I'll just be nice. Even in the game against St. John's, you saw that. But how is it that you can even argue whether or not he should be in the game? Let's start there. But also, to not be able to even try to draw a foul or just look for help instead of try to force the ball over two defenders, where, as you saw, it gets deflected, and then the shot. I mean, that's it. Now, you can only hold the ball for so long because you don't want to get caught there. But, I didn't even know. Did they even have a timeout left? They could have called timeout. But, yeah, that was just disgraceful. And part of that has to fall on Shire because you could question whether or not Caden Boozer should have been in the game, number one. And number two, a situation where if there's any pressure or if you get swarmed, call a timeout. They may not have had a timeout there, but Bio likes the Dodgers. Yes. Those are your two favorite. Yeah, Bio's flying high right now. And shout out to Bio, of course. But, yeah, that loss yesterday, oh, my God. And, in fact, let me see if I go back to that box score. Did they have a final timeout? Let me see. If I got to go to play-by-play. Yeah, because that was one where you really 1,000% have to question why Boozer's in the game. And number two, why is it a situation where he didn't get help or somebody didn't come back to try to make an effort to get the ball out of his hands instead of trying to force it in the way he did, and then we know what happened after that. Draymond Green was yelling at refs yesterday. He got emotional. Did he get technical? Val, do you know? The freshman at the game winner has... Yeah. Braylon Mullins. He is now part of tournament lore with that shot. But now here's the thing with UConn. They have to win the title because that basket will be remembered forever only if they win a championship. Now, it's going to be remembered, but not like when it comes to for all time's sake. Yeah, this is taking forever to scroll. All right, here we go. Timeout. Yeah, after DeMary hit the... Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it doesn't even tell me how many timeouts they have left. I got to go back and look at that. I'm not sure if he got a technical foul, Draymond. Yeah, I mean, that game itself, that could be an entire podcast. And how they lost that game. That is true, too. In fact, I know the last two were actually in the Final Four. One was a championship game in 99. And then 04, I want to say that was a semifinal. Let's look that up. Yeah, that was J.J. Redick. He got called for a charge. 2004, Final Four. Yep, that was... And I know the final was close. Come on, let's go. Here we go. 79-78. Yeah, in Georgia Tech. Yeah, that was the Chris Bosh team. And, yeah, Josh Boone was on that team. Well, the UConn team. Emeka Okafor, Ben Gordon. Yeah, Luol Deng, Chris Duhan. Yeah, those are some good teams. But I remember in the final seconds that J.J. Redick got called for a charge. And I believe They were up, and then they lost right after that. Yeah, Duke had to lead at the half, and then UConn beat the Yellow Jackets. But yeah, so I have that. I'll talk about NBA. I'll get into the NHL. You had a firing in Vegas, which was a shock. I'll get into that. Their head coach gone. They bring in another head coach who's, let's face it, he's a fiery guy. He's an old school guy, but man, he's going to wear out that team. They could probably give him 8 games before he gets his team worn out. That'd be John Tortorella. And the Islanders went from just Thursday from being a team that was on the outside of the playoff picture. Now they have the 2 seed and they could actually host a first round playoff series. But as we all know, that could change in the drop of a hat. So I'll touch on that. I know you had a couple of deaths in the NFL, some players of yesteryear, which I'll talk about. And then, all the baseball. And that'll be the podcast to close out the month of March. This is day 30 of 31 days of live streaming. Although I'm going to live stream into April, obviously the first and second with the live stream and the podcast. But I'll also I'll also do another. Yes, that's what I was referring to, Val. Bruce Cassidy got fired. John Tortorella in. 8 games to go. Is that going to help the Golden Knights? We shall see. Remember, Cassidy won a cup with them a couple years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah, they had lost 3 in a row and 6 of 7, and they felt that they needed to make a change. I thought it was desperate. I could see if you were bringing in a guy like Scotty Bowman, who's won 1 million Stanley Cups, but you're bringing in John Tortorella. And no offense to Tortorella. I love his old school mentality, his style. Calls it like it is, but he's going to wear on those players quickly. Vacation City, I like the name. All right, that's pretty funny there. Vacation. Vacation City 300. That'd be if you imagine you had a city called Vacation City, like Vacation City, I don't know, Arizona, or where that's where everybody goes on vacation. How about Vacation City, Aruba? Aruba sounds good right about now. Rawr, yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that's what I got there today, guys. Looking forward to another podcast. Looking forward to just sharing my thoughts on everything that's going on. And obviously there's a lot that's happening here in sports as we get ready to turn the calendar to April. I am looking forward to the best sports month of the year, which will be officially on Wednesday. And sandwiched in between, another lapper on the track for yours truly, which I'm looking forward to. Don't have anything really set planned because it's a Tuesday, it's middle of the week, I'm home. It's not like I'm away on vacation where, let's go on this excursion, or, I just want to hang out by the beach, or, hey, let's, whatever. That's not to say I couldn't do anything like that here at home, but I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to Brian Callen. Somebody mentioned that a few weeks ago. Who is this Brian Callen? Isn't that the, whatchamacallit? Isn't he a comedian or actor or something? I look like that guy? Really? Oh, you said remind. I shouldn't say you look like. Well, I guess I'll take that as a compliment there, Vacation. So thank you for that. But yeah, as far as the day tomorrow, listen, one day at a time. Let's just get through today. And not that I want to get through it like that, but just from a standpoint of just staying in the moment. Tomorrow comes. You both look and sound like him. Is that right? Wow. All right. I'll take it as a compliment. I appreciate that. Golden Knights got a former Sharks player. I know Thomas Schroeder. Yes. Vegas, they're in Pacific. King Sharks. Yes, they are. Very good, Val. Yes, I was. I understand that they've been slumping, but not to the point where this guy's going to get fired. But to me, that's why it was a desperate move. I thought it was desperate on their part, so. But let's see. What else do I have here? Nope, that's that. Yeah, why did that pop up? Hold on. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to put this here, which I did not. Post. Yeah, just trying to post. Watch, it's probably gone by now. Oh, no, it's still there. Good. Yeah, other than that, people, that's what I got. I don't know what you guys and gals have. I know it's kind of slow here in the room today. Generally, it's on and popping with my usual suspects, but nobody's around, but it's all good. You know, I appreciate you all. Shocking turn events in Vegas and much more. Yeah, I'm just making sure that I got this set up. Hold on. Yeah, was that the only head coach NHL? Oh, yeah, recently. He's the only one. Yeah, so you don't have a guy that's, let's say, recently got canned. 1, 2, 3. Wow, all that? Jeez. Let's go. 1, 2, 1. All these. All right. Bio, my man. What is happening? Greetings. Yeah, I'm just posting all the stuff here on my socials while I break this all down. But yeah, it's going to be an action-packed podcast. Lots going on. Get ready for the month of April. And yeah, what else I got for you? That's it. Oh, like I said with the live stream. So tomorrow, obviously my 31 days of live streams. You got a live stream here. You're going to get the live podcast, which obviously is a part of that. But, oh, thank you, Val. Appreciate that. But I will have more live streams, obviously, April 1st, April 2nd. And then the Friday the 3rd, which, of course, I don't have a podcast or show. I'm actually going to do a live, although I'm filming other content. But at some point, I'll do a live outside of Yankee Stadium. Probably before the start of the game. I plan to get there early to do some interviews before the game. And I know Yankee Stadium's tricky. Not like Citi Field. You go out to Citi Field, it's easy like to get people to talk to you, where Citi Field has a bunch of different destinations where people are waiting. I could just stop them. Where Yankee Stadium, everybody's like flowing and going. There's some people that are stopping and waiting, but it's really a lot of foot traffic is always fluid. But yeah, but I'm going to get there early enough. And I think the weather's supposed to cooperate. Crazy enough, Friday I checked the weather, and the opening day game for the Yankees and Marlins this coming Friday was 39 degrees. But now I think it's actually going to be in the 60s, which talk about a turn of events. So yeah, I got that going on. And yeah, so it's going to be a busy week, not only just with the podcast, but obviously with yours truly, with what's going on with me tomorrow. You cannot begin. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But, yes, Bio, I know. 3-0. And the thing about this, they play the White Sox now. And the White Sox are 0-3. Even though Murakami's hit 3 home runs in his first 3 games. But could they actually go to Yankee Stadium this weekend 6-0? Could you imagine? Oh, man. Yeah, but then they get smacked around by the Yankees. Hopefully not. But, yeah. Yeah, I just like the Marlins pitching. I know that they don't really have a lineup that's going to scare you. And, I mean, they got just a bunch of lunch pail, grinder type guys, which helps. But, you know, you got to have some thump in the lineup. And that they don't have. But, hey, and I understand it's the Rockies they're playing, and they're going to play the White Sox. So a lot of people are going to look at, let's say if they start off 5-1, for argument's sake. A lot of people are going to say, oh, it's against the dregs of the sport. We can only beat the teams that are in front of you. And not to say last year is going to translate to this year, although that'd be great. But remember, the Marlins swept the Yankees there in late July, early August. That was down in Miami, of course. Bio, your Dodgers winning. Yeah, I know. And I'll tell you about that now, Bio. Pitches tonight, Jury's still on him being a starter. Yes, Sasaki. That's going to be an interesting start for him. With his injuries last year, and even on what he showed in the bullpen. Crystal Jackson, It's been a minute. What is happening? Yeah, Bio, I already think the NL West is over. 3 games into the season. Might as well just give them the divisional title right now. And, of course, I joke. But when you look at the rest of that division, Padres are 1-2. And the other 3 teams, Arizona, San Francisco, Colorado, 0-3. And you guys, of course, are 3-0. So, therefore, yeah, I mean, it's over. The Dodger Invitational has already made its mark. Oh, yeah, wire to wire for sure. Absolutely. And who knows? Dodgers, let me see, who they play tonight? I should know that. Wait, wrong page. Yeah, the MLB schedule for tonight. Oh, they're playing the Guardians. All right, and then before they hit the road. So the Guardians. No afternoon games today? Oh, Kansas City home opener, but it's late. All right. Crystal, what's going on? What's the latest? What is up with me? Yeah, obviously a little bit of this, a little bit of that, everything in between. Lots going on. I know I'm a little tired. I don't really sound as invigorated. When the podcast lights come on, you know I'll be ready to go. But, uh-oh. Like, not much. Same old, same old. Dog food. Well, you feel like dog food? You've eaten dog food? Good for you, Val. Yeah, that's a big game, Blues and Sharks tonight. As I mentioned a little while ago. Let me see, any interesting? I mean, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast, so yeah, I'm tipping my hand here. What are the good series that we could see right now? Baseball. Detroit, Arizona. Cleveland and the Dodgers. That's not bad. Oh, Yankees, Seattle. That's probably the best series right now. Boston at Houston. Angels in Chicago. Athletics at Atlanta. Colorado, Toronto. Nah, none of these series are any good. Yankees, Seattle. Who's pitching for Seattle? Oh, Logan Gilbert. See, and Max Fried will start because they had the 2 days off, Thursday and yesterday. And because he pitched on Wednesday, it's his turn to pitch. So that's where you have the advantage of the early season schedule where you have Max Fried going twice there. And he'll actually pitch this weekend against the Marlins. He'll pitch Sunday because they'll have an off day Thursday. And, yeah, he'll be slated to toe the rubber on Sunday. Sharks beat Blue Jackets last time they played. Yes, no, it should be good. That's a big game for the Sharks. They got to win. And let me see. Sharks, did they snap that losing streak they did? Yes. And big game tonight, Islanders. Let's talk about that, shall we? Nah, I won't talk about it. But with the Penguins behind them at 1 point and the Penguins coming to town, that is an enormous game. In fact, who else they have this week? Islanders. They're playing Buffalo tomorrow. That's not going to be easy. Then they're off till Friday? No, they play the Flyers. Hold on. Flyers. Yeah, the hockey's going to get good here. J.R. Spangle. Shout out to you, my man. Yeah, go Blackhawks. I mean, I know the Blackhawks aren't making the playoffs, but, you know, hey. And they lost it's funny how the Islanders lost to them last Tuesday, and that was a bad loss. And since then, they beat the Stars, and then they beat the Panthers, and now have the Penguins come in. Oh, yeah, you get a first-round pick. The thing is, we get the number 1 pick. Now, that'd be something. If you get the number 1 pick and have the chance to draft that kid from Penn State, Gavin McKenna, he with Connor Bedard, watch out. Sharks back at home. Yeah, I tell you, if they're the Blackhawks, anybody but the Rangers, please, I don't want the Rangers getting anywhere near. They already got their number one pick, Alexis Lafreniere, and he's been a disappointment. I know he's had his moments. He's played well 2 years ago. Last year was better. No, it wasn't better. 2 years ago, he was really good. And in fact, let me pull up his numbers. I don't want to pick on the guy. But this guy, I don't want to say he was supposed to be the end-all, be-all. No, Lafreniere. But when he came out, there was a lot of pub on this kid. Listen, he's still 24 years old. He's been in the league, 5 years? But for a guy who put up big-time numbers in junior, he's having a good year this year. 22 goals, 29 assists, 51 points, 74 games. But this is a guy, if I go to his junior career, like 2 years ago, let me see. 2 years ago, he had his best year. That was when they lost to the Panthers in the conference semis. 28, 29, and 57. But he scored 20 goals. So, what was his deal? Let me go to his Wikipedia. Hold on. Yeah, because Lafreniere, for a guy that I remember, a lot of people thought that, oh, geez, this kid's going to come out. Elite prospects. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry. He's not a bust, but let me tell you something. If you're starting a team right now, Rangers, I see. Oh yeah, Drury's been awful. They're probably they should get rid of him, but sadly, James Dolan, the owner, is loyal to a fault. Yeah, this was his draft guide. You ready for this? As a puck carrier, Lafreniere is a master at bending the defensive front and driving the puck through openings. He always maintains the same grip on his stick. All right, big whoop. Forcing the opposition to guess if he's thinking shot or pass. Similarly, Lafreniere doesn't need to choose between pace or patience when determining his plans of attack. He could serve both masters at once. Let me see. Oh, that page does not exist. Okay. But if I go to his Wikipedia, I know he had monster numbers. And for this guy, here we go. You still with me, guys? So hang on. In the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, rookie year, he scored 42 goals. Most goals scored by a rookie since Sidney Crosby. Awarded the RDS Cup for Rookie of the Year. Was first All-Star team. 2019 and 20, received the Cross-Canadian Hockey League Player of the Year award. Winning out over Ontario Hockey League and Western Hockey League. Most valuable player, most MVP candidates in both of those years, becoming the second ever as a two-time winner of the award. And then Lafreniere was considered the first overall pick, 2020 draft, having led the league in scoring with 112 points. Yeah, and I got news for you. Since then, I'm not going to sit here and say he's done nothing, but yeah, he has not had I'm sure if you asked a Ranger fan, they would say, how does Tortorella keep getting jobs? I'm going to answer that in a second there, Bio. Anyway, let me get off of Lafreniere. Hold on. Let's see. Here's the thing with Tortorella. He's an old school coach. He's a fiery guy, throwback, etc. His style does not play to the players of today. He's been bounced with so many jobs. Canucks, when he went to a cup final and lost. Rangers, Flyers. He's been on a million teams. Tampa way back when he won a cup in 2004. And I guess because people are going to look at him as, well, hey, he's a fiery guy. He's going to get players to play, so on and so forth. He won a Stanley Cup, which was what, now 22 years ago? That because they're going to look at his resume and think, but it's a what have you done for me league. My name is Pickles. Hey, Pickles. So for the Golden Knights to, let's face it, this was a panic, desperate move. Why they do this is beyond me. I understand they've been slumping down the stretch. Kind of reminds me last year when the Nuggets fired Michael Malone with what, about like 3 or 4 games left? And even though Denver got to the second round, which for a team that's won a championship in the last 5 years, that's not a big thing. But they played well against OKC and, gave them a run for their money. But, yeah, I don't know why they fired Cassidy here. And that's why it's similar to the Mike Malone deal, because Cassidy won a cup the same year that Mike Malone won an NBA final. And here it is. They fire him with 2.5 weeks to go. Similar to what you saw there with the Nuggets last year. I mean, geez. And then you bring in Tortorella? I don't know. And I got nothing against Tortorella, but still. Malone was fired. Yes. Yeah, that was, and yeah, how he keeps getting these jobs. Again, they just probably look at that 2004 year when he won a cup, and it's like, well, you won a cup, so we bring him in. Yeah. That's not going to translate to, now listen, he may get the team ready and inspired, etc., but even 8 games, who knows? That may wear thin on the team by the time they get to the playoffs. So, yeah, that's what I got with Tortorella. What is this? Oh, hold on. But Tortorella's in the same category as Nick Saban, where he's always angry. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that guy, he's just a fiery guy. Wears his heart on his sleeve. Yeah, I'm sure the players, yeah, that message wears thin after a while. That's why he's been on so many teams. Didn't he also coach Columbus too, I believe? Yeah, I mean, the guy's been everywhere. And listen, I get it. Where else are you going to find a guy? You're not going to go digging for Brian Sutter or somebody like that, but I don't know. Yeah, to me, that was very puzzling and very surprising for the Golden Knights to make a move like that this late. And a lifetime ban from the local zoo. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, here we go. It's going to start her nonsense. Only because the Amazon, they ring the bell next door, and there's a dog in the next apartment that barks, so therefore she has to bark and find out what's going on. But, that's how dogs do. I can hear him now. But, yeah, so we'll see how that shakes down. I don't know. The Golden Knights have certainly fallen apart here. And I know, Bio, your team in a battle royale, 6 teams for that one final spot in the wild card. And I understand you're 3 points behind Vegas in the division, which right now I'm sure you're probably more focused on because you'd rather get in the division where you would play Edmonton again, or if you happen to get that 8th seed, you're going to play Colorado. And in fact, any games left between you guys and the Golden Knights? Let's see. Colorado at Dallas on Saturday. That's going to be a barn burner. Let's see. No, we don't want that. All right, Kings. Oh, no, let's go here. Vegas Kings. And you got about, what, 10 games left? Maybe less than that now. No, you're done with the Golden Knights. In fact, wow, they have an easy schedule. And listen, they have a very, now here's the thing, and I should say it's easy, it's very competitive. They play Vancouver twice, but they also play Seattle twice. But they do play Edmonton at Colorado, Calgary. So it's to Vancouver, to Seattle, and then the other games are home to Calgary, Edmonton, and at Colorado. That's 7 games, right? 3, 4. No, it's 8 games. Wait, where am I screwed up here? Calgary, Edmonton. That's at Edmonton. Seattle, Colorado. Oh, Winnipeg. That's where the. So they got a game against Winnipeg. Yeah, the schedule's tricky, but it's manageable. And then you guys, let's see. Kings. St. Louis. Well, that's a huge game. You're fighting with them. Nashville, who's ahead of you, of course, in the wild card. Then you have Toronto, Nashville again. Both of those games are at home. Oh, the last 3 games on the road. Wow, so you're in the middle right now of a long homestand. You lost to Utah 2 nights ago. Then you have the next 5 at home. St. Louis, Nashville, Toronto, Nashville, Vancouver, Edmonton. And then at Seattle, at Vancouver, at Calgary. Eesh. Go outside and show us your neighborhood. I'd like to see new places I'd probably never visit. Well, Aeon, check my live stream yesterday. You see me walking out in the streets outside. If you want to. 10:35. All right, I'm going to sign off in a few only because I can get ready for 11 o'clock. Shark schedules are tricky. The rest of it, let's take a look. Val, while we're at it, San Jose. She's still at the door trying to see who's outside. All right, the Sharks have 3, 2, 1. San Jose final games. St. Louis tonight, Anaheim, Toronto, Nashville, Chicago. In fact, you're in the middle of a long homestand now, or start of a homestand. 6 games, St. Louis, Anaheim, Toronto, Nashville, Chicago, Edmonton. Not bad. Then you're at Anaheim, Vancouver, and the last 3 games on the road. At Nashville, Chicago, Winnipeg. Wow, you played Nashville twice. It's manageable. It's not bad. You could actually... Listen, you got Toronto's a dead team walking. You have Vancouver's a dead team walking. Chicago's a dead team walking. Winnipeg. No, Winnipeg's still in the hunt, right? But yeah, it's all in front of you, Val. I gift him a blind friend. Cheese grit on his birthday. All right, Aeon, I got you. Let's see. What is happening here? What's going on? Does this not work? All right. Let's see. Predators wants to beat the Sharks in Nashville. Yes. Yeah, what's going on here? Why can't I see this? Hold on. Let's try this again. Yeah, I'm having some issues here with my laptop. I don't know what's happening, but bear with me, guys. Channel. Yeah, something's up. I'll fix that afterwards. But yeah, your schedule there, Val, is pretty good. It's manageable. All right, guys. I will. I'm going to sign off now, only so I could get just a little prep ready for this live stream. I appreciate everybody that's come on board. 11 a.m. latest live podcast coming at you. Always in the blood and the DNA, talking sports since birth, as you already know. Will Smith, that's your guy. Yes. Way to go, Val. But other than that, tune in at 11. Hopefully I'll see you guys and gals there. Of course, I'll get to all your comments at the top of the following hour at 12 noon Eastern. Break it all down. Looking forward to it. Hope to see you there. And as always, my good people, from the South Bronx, South Beach, South Central, South Pacific, and all points beyond, peace, love, and God bless. And until 22 minutes from now, on the flip, baby.